Hey everyone.
Hey bag ladies and bag dudes, I'm Sarah Lawson from So Sweetness. This is my husband Danny, and this is Ask Sarah, my weekly Q&A chat. Hey everyone, happy Tuesday. Thank you so much for joining me for Ask Sarah. I see Tracy's watching over in El Paso, Texas. I see Alexandra's watching from Washington. So thank you so much for joining us for Ask Sarah. We're really excited to be here. Probably noticed
Looks like Lorraine's having a birthday, I'm guessing.
Oh yeah? Excellent.
Someone else wished her a happy birthday, so
Okay.
I'm going to join in.
Happy birthday, Lorraine.
I hope I'm right.
I see Pat's watching from Anaheim. You probably noticed the Band-Aid on my finger. I actually cut myself with my sewing scissors about 2 hours ago, right before I started making dinner. I was cutting out fabric for a project, and I think I had the fabric in my hand, kind of like this. And I don't know if I'm sure you have, when you're cutting through a folded layer of fabric, when you cut the fabric, it kind of makes like a V shape. Like that's pretty much what I did to my finger. So I have like this V-shaped slit in my finger, and it was almost as bad as rotary cutting your finger. I didn't realize that I had cut it until like a few seconds later, until I saw the blood, and then I was like, oh no, look what I did. So I was just being quick.
You better not get any on the couch.
Quick and not careful. No, I had to put the Band-Aid on right away because it was really precious fabric, and I was like, I don't want blood on this fabric. So, but yeah, no blood on the couch either. Let me put this to the side. So the fabric that I was cutting out was for a Park Sling backpack that Violet requested. So I wanted to show you, I haven't started sewing it together yet, but I wanted to show you the main panels. Maybe Danny can help me hold these two up. I don't know. So this is going to be the front of the backpack. So this is like a panel print kind of, and like a smaller coordinating print. So Violet loves Stitch from Disney. So that's going to be Violet's backpack. And I'm going to make one for myself too. You want to hold this one up also? Thank you. So Disney. I don't think we're going to be able to go to Disney this year, but whenever we do go, we'll have some fun Disney backpacks. And these are actually knit fabrics. These are from a group on Facebook called Backstitch Fabrics, and
Thanks, Christina.
Yeah, thanks, Christina. I've been buying a lot of Backstitch fabric in the last almost a year. But anyway, these are knit fabrics, so I just interfaced the knits first with Shape Flex on the back to take out the stretch, and then obviously I'll be attaching to the foam interfacing. So I'll share the backpacks as soon as I finish them. I'm especially excited about Violet's because these were hard fabrics to come by. I think Christina sent me some, and also I bought some on like a D-Stash section of the Facebook page. So anyway, Danny and the kids were playing a card game while I was making dinner. Hawaiian Rummy, which my grandmother has had this game for I don't know how long. I've always remembered playing Hawaiian Rummy at her house. And why don't you explain to everyone, if they're not familiar with the game, briefly like what it is?
Each person gets 11 cards. It's the rummy rules, except each round you have a goal. So it's like a run of three of a kind, and one ace. Or it could be 3 aces, run of 3, and run of 4. Each round's different. It gets harder as you progress further down. So 11 rounds of it.
And you have to, the goal of each hand is to be the first one to get rid of all your cards.
Yep.
And then whatever cards the other players have left in their hand, those are awarded points based on
5
the
points
different
for non-face cards. 10 and to king are 10 points, and aces are 15.
So who won the card game?
Violet.
By a lot?
No,
it was a close game. I know sometimes the kids get discouraged when we play at my grandma's house. We call her Amma. William does not like playing the hands that have any runs in them, so he wants to skip those hands, but I'd prefer to just, play them through because there's a lot of hands with runs in them. And then if someone's falling behind with a huge score, because the scores can change quickly, right? You could all of a sudden...
Oh, yeah. William won the first 3 rounds, and then he went on a losing streak. I lost the first round, like 110 points. I think the total score was like 360 was the worst score. But I had 110 the first round, then I had low points, and I won like 2 or 3. And the very last round, Violet passed me to win.
So your luck can change quickly, but the kids don't think about that. They just think of the hand that we just played, and
Yep.
if they have a high score, they almost want to give, kind of quit early. But yeah, we're not having that early quitting.
Bronwyn, I'm glad you made it home safely.
Oh, speaking of Bronwyn, There is
The Giver. Her title, if you're going to talk about her, Bronwyn the Giver.
There's an international bag lady meetup sort of that I've been made aware of. So Trish, who lives in Chicago, is going to New Zealand with her sister on a trip, and she's actually going to be meeting fellow bag ladies Bronwyn and Susan in New Zealand, which is pretty awesome. So I was excited about that.
I want to go with.
Yeah.
I just saw a deal for Dallas, Texas to Sydney, Australia for $500 round trip, actually.
Wow, that sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let us know if there's any other international meetups that are going to be happening. That's pretty exciting. So on that note, we'd like to ask all of the bag ladies and bag dudes to let us know in the comments right now, either on Facebook or YouTube. So go ahead and type in either bag lady or bag dude. We love the supportive community. We love that the Chicago and New Zealand crossover meetup is going to be happening soon. That's really exciting. And thank you so much for being part of the shows and being part of the group. We really appreciate you.
I think Bronwyn's got a new moniker. The Gangsta, Diane says.
So I know not everyone is a member of the Facebook group, so if you're not, just a little background information, but I'm sure you've seen Bronwyn speaking about the sew-alongs on past shows live. But Bronwyn lives in New Zealand, and we have a lot of members that are very active in the group with helping to answer questions and just being supportive, and Bronwyn is one of those members, and so that's who Danny's talking about, just in case you're a YouTube-only watcher. But again, we really love the community, both on the shows and on Facebook and on the rest of social media, so we really appreciate you.
Yeah, if you're only on YouTube, I would definitely give it a shot to hit the Facebook group. It's a lot of fun. It's entertaining stuff going on in the group. You see a lot of cool bags, very interesting stuff, something you normally wouldn't think certain fabrics would work, and people make bags in all variations, and you see a bunch of cool stuff.
Yep.
Definitely worth a look.
All right, so I wanted to read a short email that I got last week. So if you've been tuning in regularly, last week I showed my, not Secret Santa, but my Secret Cupid gift. There was a So Sweetness Cupid international swap that Michelle Graham hosted over in the Facebook group, and my partner, or at least the person who was supposed to send to me, was Gail, and so I showed the things that I received from Gail about a week ago on the live shows, and so I received a follow-up email from Gail that I wanted to read, just a quick email. Gail says, I wanted to let you know that you are a celebrity at my house. I watch you on Sunday and Tuesday, and my granddaughter, another one I have 4 living with me, sees you on YouTube. When I was making your bag for the Secret Cupid, she was so excited that I was making it for you. She told her friends all about it. Then when you showed it and talked about it on Tuesday, she was so impressed. So thank you for making me look good by association. That's not easy for grandmas to do. So I thought that was pretty fun. And thanks for the email, Gail, and thanks for the lovely gifts. We're still working through some of that candy, but the saltwater taffy is gone already.
Someone asked what group was I talking about. It's the So Sweetness group you follow. If you go
Facebook group, yeah.
Facebook group. You follow her on Facebook, there'll be a group tab. You click the tab, and that takes you right to the private group.
Yeah, the official name of the group is So Sweetness Sewing Patterns. So if you are on Facebook, you can just type in So Sweetness Sewing Patterns in the search box, and it should come up. And we ask all members to apply to join, which it doesn't mean we're not accepting everyone, but we just want to make sure that we're keeping like spammers and people that are not interested in sewing out of the group.
Yep.
All right, so you want to get over to your pick of the week?
Sure. My pick of the week is... Uh-oh. I clicked, but it's not... It was a good one,
Are
I
you
tell
joking,
you.
or are you being
No, I'm
serious?
dead serious. Look, you see me clicking?
Okay,
We'll try the second option.
there we go.
All right, that's from Sara Weasel, and she made this backpack. I don't really know the name of it.
The Park Sling
Oh,
backpack.
that's what it is. Park Sling backpack. She did a great job. If you look at the fabric, it was Golden Girls, and I didn't remember what it said on there. Did you?
Why
catch
don't you
that?
put the picture
I will.
back up there?
I was wondering if you remembered. Did you remember? It was a test.
Oh, no, I don't.
All right. So you weren't paying attention? It says Stay Golden. And I thought it was just really cool. I mean, I like the Golden Girls. My mom would watch when I was a kid, and I grew up watching it, and I enjoyed it.
In the back of my mind, I knew what the embroidery was because Violet started the show, and she came in here, and she saw Danny has his computer set up with the his pick of the week, and she saw it, and she's like, "Oh, stay golden." And I was wondering in the back of my head, I didn't have time to say anything because it was right before the show started, but I was wondering if Violet knows who the Golden Girls are.
I don't. Maybe it's pop culture.
I know Violet. I mean, the kids watch a lot of old school shows. Like they've watched all the Full House episodes. I mean, the original Full House episodes like 4 or 5 times.
Yep.
They recently
Step by Step.
Family
Matters.
Family Matters. Yep.
The classic TGI Friday shows. Teresa said you better get Violet to help, with the the computer problems.
Yeah, good one. All right, so in a second, I'm going to answer some questions live. But before that, we'd like to ask if you're watching on Facebook, if you enjoy our live shows and our sewing tutorial videos, if you can go ahead and hit the share button right now. Share this sewing video with your other sewing friends on Facebook. If you're watching on YouTube, if you're not already subscribed to the YouTube channel, I hope you will consider subscribing so that you can be notified of our upcoming live shows and our upcoming bag making videos. And regardless, the likes help us out a lot, and that's the thumbs up icon. So we really appreciate the likes, shares, and subscribes. So thank you so much for doing that. So
I wanted to ask you, who was your favorite Golden Girl? Did you watch that show?
I did not,
Oh,
actually.
shame on you.
Maybe I can watch them all with Violet because
I think she would like it for sure.
they're probably on Hulu or
I'm sure it's somewhere.
one of those streaming services. All right, so if you have a sewing related question, a bag making related question, or a question about a sewing notion or tool, go ahead and type your question in the comments right now. I'll answer as many questions as I can live. So Danny's going to be looking for your questions. I had an initial question when the show first started from Deborah, and I wanted to make sure that I answered it. And Deborah had a question about number 3 zippers, what exactly that means, because she noticed that in the pattern that she was working on, I asked for a number 3 dress skirt zipper. So the number in number 3 means the length from one end of where the zipper teeth start to the other, and the number is actually in millimeters. So the number 3 would be the millimeters from one end of the zipper to the other, where the teeth are. And what else was I going to say about that? Basically, handbag zippers are either 4.5, number 4.5, or number 5. And so again, that corresponds to the size of the size of the teeth, and the number is the length in millimeters from one end to the other. Mary says, best of your bags to use for a purse that will hold a wallet and other supplies, not a tiny purse, but not a huge tote bag. Thanks in advance. I think the Baker Street bag is a pretty good size. The Baker Street or the Oriole bags, which are free videos and patterns on YouTube. I'm sure there's tons more that people might have preferences for in regards to like sort of a medium-sized bag. I know a lot of my bags are on the larger side, or at least a good amount, because I like working with large-scale prints and that kind of thing. But if you haven't already, I'm sure, Mary, sure your Tudor bag is a good one. What else?
Sublime.
The Polaris bag, maybe.
Polaris is a little small.
Yeah, it is small, but if the wallet isn't like a huge wallet.
This is not a tiny purse. I've seen multiple comments go through for the, sorry to change subjects, but the Odie coat, where did you get it? Do you sell it?
Oh, okay. You know what? I'd like to sell it on the site, but I wasn't sure as far as, it's not really a liquid, but it's sort of a gel. I wasn't sure how.
Sounds like a silicone, to be honest. That's how it seals it.
Oh, okay. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Anyway, I purchased mine on Amazon, and I think it was around $15. The jar was a good-sized jar, and you want to make sure you get the Odie coat for fabric. I think I talked about the Odie coat, not this past Sunday, the Sunday before that, and I demonstrated that at the end of the show. Odie coat makes any fabric into a waterproof fabric, so it's great for cosmetic bags, lunch bags, things like that, where you want to just be able to wipe them clean. Diana says, my husband got me the Rise into Bag pattern for Christmas, and I was wanting to know if there is a video for it now. Yes, there is, and actually you can purchase the video individually now if you just want the video, or it's available in the latest 4-pack video bundle. And we are making substitutions for the bundle, so if you're interested in the bundle but you already own, say, 1 or 2 patterns that are in the bundle, I will substitute and provide you the replacement of your choice, so any other PDF pattern that you'd like instead. But if you just wanted that one video, that's available on the website now as well. Cheryl says, is it possible to put a crossbody strap on the Aragon bag? Yeah, I think that should be pretty easy to do. I would suggest putting it in the area where the zipper panel is attached to the bottom panel. I think that would be the simplest way to do it. And I do have a video on my YouTube channel for making an adjustable strap. I believe it was 2 different ways, so you can check that out to add that to your Aragon bag. Pat says, Sarah, on the Gloss Cosmetic bag, why is the front pocket not foam? You used fusible fleece instead. Gloss Cosmetic bag. Oh, so let me grab it just so I can show it. Okay, so Pat's question was about this, the Gloss Cosmetic bag, and her question pertained to this front pocket over here. So the original iteration of this pattern was just 2 layers, front and back, lining and exterior of Polon Shape Flex. And based on the tester feedback, some of the testers wanted this area to be a bit more substantial, so that's why I added the fleece. I decided not to add the foam just because when you're starting to assemble everything together, a lot of layers come into play, and I didn't want this to create a problem and causing too much thickness in the layers, so that's why I went with the fusible fleece instead. So the pocket's substantial enough to hold the items in the front of it, but not too thick that it'll cause problems, especially since this cosmetic bag has the binding on the inside. Samantha says, where can I order from you all? What's the website? Is there a video that comes with your bag pattern? So that's a great question. So the website is www.sewsweetness.com, and that's SEW and then the word sweetness. If you go to the website, the very first graphic at the top of the page is online workshops. And if you're interested in any of our patterns that have videos, if you click on that, all the patterns with videos available will be listed there. I do still have a few patterns in the pattern stable that we have not produced videos for yet, but eventually we will have videos for all of the patterns. We're just working our way through the list, and I don't know, the list is getting smaller of the patterns that do not have videos, so that's exciting news. Sherry says, what is the most used zipper on your patterns? So the 2 zipper sizes I use are the number 4.5 zippers, which are handbag zippers. They have a little bit larger of a pull, which is this one's the handbag zipper on this particular project. And also the number 3 dress skirt zippers. Those are the 2 sizes I use most often. I also have, if you're interested, a free video on my YouTube channel where I talk about different zipper sizes. I talk about metal zippers, how to remove metal zipper teeth if you need to shorten a metal zipper, that kind of thing. So if you're interested in a quick video about more zipper information, you can find that on the YouTube channel. Dorothy says, when using cork, should you also use interfacing? So that depends. When I'm using cork on accents or straps or handles for a bag, I tend to skip the interfacing just so it doesn't create extra bulk. If I'm using the cork fabric for the body of the bag, I generally use the interfacing as called for in the pattern, but again, that depends on what type of look you're looking for in a bag. For instance, the free video for the Easy Leather Hobo bag, I made a version in cork also. I did use the foam interfacing, but if you wanted that hobo bag to be a bit of a slouchier look, you could certainly skip the interfacing on that and just use the cork and then have your lining, of course. Charlie says, I love tote bags. Do you have any besides the grocery one and the minikins too? As a guy, they're one of the bags I can use myself. So I think that's a really interesting question. I know there's several bag dudes out there that watch the show quite often, including Charlie. So I think I'd actually like to hear straight from the guys feedback about specific bags that they're looking for, because I admit I'm often coming out with, girly bags like the cosmetic bag, but I know I believe Renee's watching. Charlie usually watches. Jeff's usually watching. So maybe we can get together and talk after the show, the guys that usually watch. Richard, and talk about some things that you'd like to see in future patterns. Sue says, Sarah, would you consider doing a pattern for under bed storage? That's a really interesting idea. So do you mean maybe like the sort of like tray, what would you call them? Like shoebox sized storage?
Almost like your packing cubes.
Packing cube. Oh, maybe.
That's that size.
Maybe.
I mean, like,
yeah, I was thinking of one just like a...
more stiffer.
Yeah, stiffer. That's really cool. I like that idea. I'll write that down. Under bed storage. Karen says, I bought the 4-pack bundle, but I don't know where to find the tutorials that go with it. So if you go to www.sewsweetness / hang on, let me check the exact. It is, okay, so sosweetness.com/ the word my, then a dash, then the word account. You can log into your account, and on the left-hand margin, there will be a few links, and you're looking for my purchase patterns and my purchase videos. I don't know if we can get that on the screen, can we? No? Okay.
Not from this computer.
Okay. Kathy says, what is the secret to using fusible foam and not having it dimple when you birth the bag? So I like using sew and foam. I personally use By Annie Soft and Stable. But if you've already purchased some fusible foam and you'd like to use it up, you may consider attaching Pollen Shape Flex to the wrong side of your fabric first and then attaching it to the fusible foam. That might minimize the dimpling, especially when you're turning the bag right side out. Everyone has their own personal preference, but I like the sew and foam a little bit better. Leslie says, odd sewing technique question. How do you sew barefoot, socks, shoes? I tend to sew barefoot and wondering if I'm the only one. So that's a great question. Actually, when I teach classes, often like for a quilt guild, if I'm teaching a class somewhere, a lot of the ladies actually like to sew with their shoes off, and I've also seen people coming to class and sewing with their socks off no matter what the weather. I usually just sew in my socks, but I ordered myself a new pair of slippers, which I think are coming on Thursday. Violet's excited because she also got to pick out a new pair of shoes, so I think I'll probably be sewing with my slippers when they come, because sometimes my feet get a little cold in the winter in the sewing room. But yeah, usually I'm wearing socks when I'm sewing. Brenda says, can the wooden end of the stiletto be used as a finger press? Yes, it can. Let me grab the stiletto. I showed this on the Sunday show. So this is the stiletto by Annie. And if you'll notice, this tip is sort of on a diagonal, and this would be great for finger pressing or following up behind your iron to get like a really nice press with this tip. Oh, I saw a question for you, I think.
I
Is
saw
that the one you were
I was selecting, yeah, and one whizzed by and caught it instead.
Yeah, the questions go by really fast on Danny's computer because it's quite all the questions from both YouTube and Facebook. Oh, darn, someone had a question for you and you missed it.
Well, someone said that, thank you for picking me as the pick of the week last week. And that was one of the things I was going to post.
Oh, okay.
But
Excellent.
they're just whizzing by. It's like, I select it and boom, it's gone. You guys must have a lot of questions. We're like, I think 6 pages back on our comments. So as we catch up, I've seen it multiple times. Danny's, how's the sling backpack coming? I've yet to cut it out yet. Soon. We just filmed and I edited so much last week. I need like a little break from even looking at a sewing machine or a computer screen or hearing Sarah's voice any more than I have to. And if I watch a video, I'm going to have to hear it over and over. Well, so I need a little break.
Danny's been going to bed early. Well, early for Danny.
Early for anyone. Shoot, 10 o'clock.
Well, no, I go to bed earlier than that.
You guys in the comments, put what time you guys go to bed at nighttime. I'd love to see it. Your local time, obviously.
Well, I was shocked and I didn't realize because Danny told me, I think it was yesterday or the day before, and he said, well, I haven't been playing any computer games at night in over a week. And I was like, what do you mean?
I still haven't played any.
He was editing the videos at night, and then the rest of the nights he was going to bed early. And I think I just didn't realize. Like, I assume he's always down here till like 1 or 2 in the morning on the computer, but that wasn't the case. Because I go to bed earlier than 10 o'clock, I didn't notice what time he went to bed. Oh, that's a good question. Kathy says, if I own the Aragon bag pattern, is there an update for the interior drop-in lining? Actually, the update wasn't a drop-in lining and it wasn't a bound lining. It was just everything sewn right sides together and then birthed. If you purchase that pattern on my website using your account, the update should just automatically be in your account now. If you purchased on Etsy, that will also be the case. If you purchased on my website using guest checkout, you'll just need to email me so that I can send you that updated copy of the Aragon bag. Just because if you used guest checkout, that means you didn't use your account, and so there's no account information for you to get that update. But feel free to email me, and my email is sarah@sewsweetness.com, Sarah with no H.
Yeah, there's a huge variance of people, but a lot of people are going to sleep after 10, Sarah, if you look at the comments.
Yeah, that's true. I see a lot after 10. I see a few, like a small sprinkling of like really late, like 1 a.m. or 2 a.m., kind of like you.
There's 2, 3 a.m.
Yeah.
But the reason I ended up waking up early, we had that polar vortex. My mom's car wouldn't start the day after. She tried to go to work the day of, And so I was waking up at 4:30 in the morning and going to her house and picking her up and getting her to work by 6 a.m. So I was doing that every day. So by force of habit, I changed my sleeping habits.
Oh yeah, I forgot
So
about
by the
that.
time it'd be 10 p.m. at nighttime, I'm like, I feel like a zombie. Like I gotta go to bed because I'm so tired and stuff. So I mean, last night was the first night I stayed up past 10. And it was like 11 o'clock or something like that. But I still woke up.
You've been getting up at like
Early.
7:30 though, the last
Yeah.
few days, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
I'm a little surprised, I admit, to see you coming down that early, but it's kind of nice.
Sarah, when are you gonna have some SVG files for your patterns?
Oh, good question. So SVG files are for electric cutters. I do have someone working on the SVG files. I'll let you know as soon as we have those in. We're going to be starting with SVG files for some of the smaller projects, so some free smaller projects, and also for some of the patterns, mostly for pouches, things that can fit reasonably on the SVG file, since the file has to be, you're probably familiar with most of my pattern pieces that are cut on the fold. So for the SVG files, those pieces need to not be cut on the fold, so like the full-size pieces. So it depends on what most of the smaller projects will fit that kind of format, because it's a limited space. I think the biggest mat is, maybe I'm wrong, but I thought it was 12 inches by 24 inches. Cindy says, book club, is there a target date we should complete our reading? So I gave extra time for the initial first book just because this particular book was a UK release, and depending on what part of the world you live in, I recognized that it would take a little bit of extra time. I had to purchase my copy from the UK myself, my hard copy. People that are getting the Audible books or the Kindle books won't have that issue, but I did want to allow extra time for the initial book. The rest of the book should be easier to get a hold of just because I noticed they were more widely available, at least in the US. So my official announcement for book club will be this Tuesday, even though I know a lot of you have read the first book already. But middle of March, it'll be the middle of each month. So middle of March, we'll be officially discussing the first book on the show. So you'll want to tune into that. So there's no need to sign up anywhere or do anything. Just watch the live shows on Tuesdays in the middle of the month, and we'll have the book club discussion. And then the middle of March is when we'll be debuting the first video and free pattern project to go along with the book club. So the projects are all secret. The future books are all secret. So you'll just need to tune in for the announcements and to see the projects. Did I miss a question, or is that the question I answered?
Shoot, I don't even know.
I think
I hope you're asking that question.
I think that question you just passed over was one that I didn't answer yet.
You talk too long sometimes, I swear.
Teresa says, Danny, what kind of video camera do you use?
Well, our front camera is a Panasonic GH5, and for overhead camera, it's a PTZ Optics camera.
Okay, nice and
short and sweet.
Cut to the point.
That's, I was thinking about that yesterday, Renee. I said, what kind of fabric can you use for your park sling backpack or bag? And I was talking to Sarah, I think it was yesterday, about her day before. And I said, initially she thought I was going to make probably like a Doctor Who or Star Wars backpack or, some theme backpack. But honestly, I was thinking into doing like a gray wool with like black leather or something different. Because, Sarah's really into bright fabrics and stuff like that. I want to switch it, I think, to something different.
So like a more neutral palette?
Yeah, more, I guess. I don't know. We'll see. We'll get a look at the fabric store and look around.
Oh, I saw it, yeah.
Yeah, so I was trying to get it.
Man had a question about the book. So the first book is, I actually still have it here. All right, so this is the first book. Apparently there's 2 different books with the same title, but this is The Sewing Machine, and the author is Natalie Fergie. And this is what the book looks like. And I think my Kindle book had a different cover, but it was the same book. But anyway, you want to look for the author, Natalie Fergie. What?
No, Charlie said you didn't miss a question. It was a thank you for resolving a shipping issue.
Oh.
It was actually from B. So,
Yes, okay. Yeah, I did handle that.
Yeah, she said thank you for handling so quickly.
Oh, you're welcome.
But this is something else.
B says, I'm having a print issue with the Park Sling backpack. I did the test and it checks out, but the triangles are not to size. One is smaller. What am I doing wrong? So there's a few things. You always want to open the file using Adobe Reader. You never want to open it in your web browser, because that does funky things when you go to print it. You want to print it actual size, and depending on what prints out, sometimes you might my suggestion is to maybe just print out the first page of the templates to check that first, or at least the page where the 1-inch square is. Sometimes the margins, when they print out, look a little funny, or the margins are getting cut off. There's a rectangular margin around the pattern pieces. If that happens to you, you'll want to check your checkbox in your printer settings that says Auto Portrait Landscape. That usually fixes that problem. So if none of those things work for you, you can always email me and I can help you further. Again, Sara@SoSweetness.com, and Sara with no H. Nicole says, has Danny watched all the Doctor Who seasons?
Well, it's funny you mentioned that. Twitch recently did a rerun of their old seasons, and that's where I actually got caught up watching from season 1 all the way to season, I think, 9, and then season 10 or 11 is the new Doctors. I've watched them all, and the new season, I've watched the first 3 episodes, and whatever, just got sidetracked from it and just didn't think about it, honestly. So I got to go back and watch the female Doctor, and Sarah's same boat as me. We haven't watched the new season at all. I don't know. Maybe it just didn't catch us. I don't know what happened with that.
I don't know. I feel like we're so spoiled as far as TV choices now, and especially when you can watch a whole season at once, and there's so many different streaming sites. I think it's easy to lose track of all the shows that you're watching.
You know, Charlie makes a good point. He says, check out Essex Lynn. That's what I was thinking, honestly.
I have some. Did you know?
That's what I don't know if you reviewed it or what I saw it, but I saw it looked like that. That's the look I want, and I assume it's going to be easier to work with than maybe like those thicker materials and stuff like that. Nice pants, Sarah.
Sorry.
That's when we do the overshots on Sundays. I always make sure I try to cut before you see Sarah standing up. She's always wearing like her pajamas.
Here's the Essex linens. I have some of the metallic ones. So this is I can see that it's picking up the metallic on the camera. Do you like any of these?
I do like these.
Do you like the metallics? Because they have some that without metallic.
No, I like them.
Okay. This one's my favorite. I think this goldish one, I think is called Oyster. I like this one a lot. And I like also...
I think the bottom I like the best.
Ooh, I can't remember if this one was called Fog or not, but I like this one also.
I like that.
Yeah, that's cool.
Then I want that black leather pleather look.
Gotcha.
Maybe do some free motion quilting on it. Watch out, Jenny Baker. Let's see.
Katie Baker.
Oh no, wait, Jenny Baker. I'm sorry. Yeah,
no,
Jenny Baker is I know
fabric
from
designer.
Wisconsin, right above us. Sorry,
Yes.
Katie. Sorry, Katie. Wrong Baker.
I was gonna interrupt you when you were talking about Twitch for the people that don't know what Twitch is.
Okay, sure.
Just so you could quickly explain it.
It's like YouTube, except it's for live streaming, so like we're doing right now, and it's primarily gamers or people. There's people doing craft stuff on there. I would like to maybe pivot towards Twitch one day if Sarah would allow it, and we'd be like this, and it's more interactive with the community. It's a better interaction time. I think it is personally.
But they have TV show because you said you watched.
Yeah,
Doctor
well,
Who
so
on there.
the Twitch company themselves actually stream shows sometimes. They did Doctor Who. They did Knight Rider. No, when I watched all this episodes on while I was working. They do cartoons, old ones, but they're their own brand. It says like Twitch streams. They have like old shows they'll just stream. You know,
But is it a limited
24 hours
time?
a day.
Is it a limited
Yeah, they
time?
play them all in a row, and they once it runs out, they go to another show.
Oh, okay.
So it's I watched the Doctor
So they
Who
can't find Doctor Who on there currently? Is that what you're saying?
No, it's live streaming only. You can't select it like you're watching Netflix or something like that.
I see.
Yep.
Sounds very interesting. Donna says there's never any reason to get out of your pajamas when you're at home. Rock on, Sarah. Well, if I wouldn't have stood up, nobody would have seen that I was wearing pajama pants. But Penny says, I'm looking for bags patterns for my husband and son. What would you like?
Well, I saw a really cool, if you have the Minikins one, the desktop cubes, someone did a hack and they put it for remote controls and stuff like that for different storage. I think that would be awesome. I like the backpacks. The Cumberland's a great backpack. Something like that is what I like. The new backpack, the sling one, is perfect for me. I really like that. Those are the kind of patterns I could say, yeah, that's pretty cool. You know, even the Kanga one I think is pretty cool because you can use the little different supply pouch areas for different stuff. And I could totally see doing like a tool kit you're carrying with you. So like remote control cars, I could have little tools and parts in each different compartment.
Oh, I didn't think of...
You could do that with skateboarding with William, his tools for his tech decks, his stuff. I mean, all the different things.
That would
This
be
is a great supply
This would be a
case.
great gift for your friends that have the remote control cars, like what you mentioned with the
Yeah.
tools.
Mhm.
I didn't even think about that.
Yep.
Cool.
No, those aren't Sarah's. Those are like fleece pajama pants.
Yeah, fleece pajamas. I don't know. Some days I don't leave the house and I'm like, just have some pajama pants on. I see a lot of comments about the pajama pants, yeah.
Twitch you can use as an app. It's just like Facebook, YouTube. If you have it in your TV, generally your TV will also have the Twitch app as well. You can use it through your computer. It's on Apple. It's on Android. It's on multiple, outlets to get. I see lots of comments. Are we married? Yes, we are married. Thank goodness, right? Lucky me. Wow, there's a lot of comments going
on. Gail says, do you have a pattern available for a crossbody bag? So there's a few. I like the Hyacinth bag a lot. That's a crossbody. What else? The Polaris. Well, I guess you could add an adjustable strap to the Polaris bag if you wanted a longer strap or to make it adjustable. What else? Can you think of anything else off the top of your head that's adjustable? The Kennedy bag.
Oreo?
Yes, the Oreo bag and the Kennedy bag, which are free patterns and videos. You can find those on the YouTube channel.
Would the satellite bag be like a crossbody?
Yes, the satellite bag is a crossbody bag. Oh, good job. The Baker Street bag is not a crossbody, but you could easily add the adjustable side strap like what we were talking about earlier. That would be a really easy modification. Debbie said, will the cookbook be available? We're still working on that. We'll let you know as soon as we have that prepared. If you're not familiar with what was going on with the cookbook, we were collecting recipes from the So Sweetness community, one recipe per person, and we are going to collate them in an ebook and distribute that for free.
So it's an Appaloosa bag, ..
Oh, Appaloosa bag, yeah, good one. So we'll let you know about the cookbook as soon as we have that ready. Gretchen says, do you have a pattern for a simple traditional tote?
Yeah, I think you sort of dodged that last time when Charlie asked it, if you have a tote pattern.
Did I dodge it?
Or maybe you wanted a tote one.
The Tudor bag is a tote, but it's got more details in it, so not a quick tote. I suppose I don't have...
It's a leather hobo, sort of like a tote.
I guess so. I have some things planned, though, so stay tuned. I don't want to talk about it too much since I haven't made anything yet, so I have nothing to talk about. But yeah, I have something brewing for a traditional tote-looking bag. Karen knits one day... Oh, can the day trip be modified to be adjustable? Day trip... Yes, it can. So you want to grab the day...
Sure. Give a shout out to Alberta SSP.
2 p.m. on Sunday.
You can say it out loud,
Oh, that's
Sarah.
awesome. No, sorry. I don't know why I did that.
Which one?
Heather says the Alberta So Sweetness social group is meeting at Starbucks in Chapters on Calgary Trail at 2 p.m. on Sunday, February 24th. So that's exciting. If you're not already a member of the So Sweetness groups by state or country, depending on where you live, if you'd like to join that, there's a file in the main So Sweetness group. You can search by your state or country and join your local group. And some of the groups occasionally have meetups, and we're going to be working on some projects and contests for the meetups and prizes and things like that, specifically for the meetups. And again, we'll let you know in the future, but that's something that's coming up a little bit down the line.
I would like to do a 2020 world tour of sewing meetup groups where we could have maybe 3 times a year we'll go to a group meetup or something and say hi to everyone, do a little vacation.
Oh, like we travel? Is that what you mean?
Yes.
Like travel in person?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Sanjita says, Sarah,
Did you want your...
Oh, yeah, sorry. Sorry, I don't... The question was if you could add an adjustable strap to the day trip cell phone wallet because it's not currently adjustable as per the pattern. You could. It should be fairly easy to do. You'll just need to reference that free video on my YouTube channel for making an adjustable strap, and there's 2 different demonstrations in that particular video. You'll want to look for the one with the swivel clip because the pattern as is already has the swivel clip, and it'll be super easy. All you need to do is add a metal slider, and then you can make your strap adjustable. Could you do a video for a beginner quilt? I love your teaching style. Thanks. So we actually have a free video.
Holiday Homies quilt.
No, I was talking about something else, but...
Well, it's out there. I don't know if it's easy.
We have for later in the year planned a free video quilt along. Again, details we'll let you know sooner to when that comes out. I think we're thinking starting midsummer, something like that. But we'll let you know. Excited about that one too. Sandy says, when will the yoga bag pattern be available? I do have that on my list for a pattern coming soon. I have not made it yet or written the pattern, but I was thinking of, based on feedback and talking to people who do use yoga bags, I think it'll be 2 different versions of bags. Kind of like what I did with the Yarn Minder bag. It was 2 different versions depending on what people needed. It'll be a similar type of situation with the yoga bag, 2 different styles of bag, and I'm excited for that also. Bronwyn says, direct flights, Chicago to Auckland, Danny, just saying.
That was one of our targets. We wanted to go Australia.
How long
but
is
since
that?
you're New Zealand.
How long is that flight? That's a...
Well, she would know for sure.
Yeah, that's true.
Living in the States.
I'm a little nervous about the length of the flight, I have to admit.
Just get a bunch of Benadryl and we'll just chug it.
Sherry says, Sarah, do you wash your fabric before you sew with it? So I usually don't, just because I'm usually working with fabrics from manufacturers that I'm familiar with, that I've used in the past, so I'm kind of familiar with how they'll react when I iron or hit it with steam, that kind of thing. If you purchase fabric that you're not familiar with, or I've had issues in the past with some fabrics that I've purchased from Walmart, if you're ever not sure about your fabric, just go ahead and pre-wash it, so you'll treat it in the same manner that you would with the finished bag. So if that means you'll put the finished bag in the washing machine in the dryer, that's how you pre-wash your fabric. I've had, we don't really have a Walmart near us, but years ago, I mean, when the kids were babies, I made them little pajama sets with shorts with fabric that I got from Walmart, and it was when I was really new to sewing, so I just didn't know. But I didn't pre-wash the fabric, which, you know, now I know for garments you always have to pre-wash, but I didn't pre-wash that fabric, and it shrunk so much that the clothes didn't fit anymore. Like, it was a huge amount of shrinkage. So the fabric that I usually work with, like Tula Pink fabric, that kind of thing, I remember doing tests years ago, and the shrinkage is like minimal, like 1/8 of an inch on all sides. But if you're ever not sure, just go ahead and pre-wash it.
Did you get to the question? I don't know if I posted it. I might have just flipped through too quick, but it was about glues. Your favorite permanent glue and temporary glue?
Oh no! Did you put it
I
up
must
on
not
the
put it
screen?
through.
Oh, okay.
I must have had it selected and just selected a different one and changed it.
My favorite glue that I use is made by the company Beacon, and that's called 3-in-1, and they also make a glue called Fabric Tack, which is also very good. The reason I like this glue is because I've used other glues in the past. What glues have I used? Gutermann glue, and there was another one. It was 3 letters. I can't think of it off the top of my head. But the other glues that I tried were a little bit on the runny side, and that's kind of tricky, especially when you're using the glue to glue in a metal frame, like a metal frame coin purse or something like that. This glue is a little bit more thicker and not so runny, not as thin as some of the other glues I've tried in the past, so I like this one a lot. It comes in several different sizes as well. I think this is like the medium size, but I think it comes in a smaller, and it lasts forever. I've had this one for at least a year. Deborah says, any bag ladies going to QuiltCon? Can we have an international meetup? Oh, that's a really great idea.
I saw multiple people mention about QuiltCon meetup.
Why don't we, I know Deborah's watching on YouTube. I'm not sure if Deborah's also on Facebook. Why don't we get a thread started in the Facebook group for people who are going to QuiltCon, and you can go ahead and type if you are, and hopefully people can meet up. Is there anything else that you think we could do to facilitate that? Or
When is QuiltCon?
I think it's February 23rd. I think. Don't quote me on that. I'm not going, so I don't know 100% for sure, but I think
Let's
a
just
couple
get in the
weeks.
car and drive down.
Oh, it's in Nashville. I don't know if
I know
you knew
it is.
that. Oh, okay.
Oh, I knew that because we were in when we were in Nashville. You mentioned to the worker at Anna Maria Horner's shop or whatever. He said it's gonna be real busy because of QuiltCon coming up or something.
Right.
Yes. A lot of direct flights to Florida, Texas. A lot of tempting offers. We need to travel for sure.
Yeah, but Violet doesn't like to travel that
That's
much.
how she's going to get better at traveling, by doing it more often.
I don't know.
Yep.
Okay, I see Candy posted the link. I don't know if you want to put that for QuiltCon. In case you're interested, they have, how many times a year? I think it's every year they have QuiltCon, or maybe
How does it come up with that image, though?
I'm not sure. But that's the website if you're interested in finding out more, quiltcon.com. I think they just wanted to cover your face up for a second.
I'm going to leave it up for the rest of the show.
No, I'll put it away.
No, seriously, I'm leaving up the rest of the show.
No. Don says, will you be at the Kansas City Quilt Festival? Actually, I wasn't aware of that. I don't know. We tried to reduce our travel in the last year since we started doing the live shows, just because we're super committed to showing up every Sunday and Tuesday for the lives and also working on more videos. But who knows? Who knows what the future will hold as far as traveling and things.
I think that's it.
All right. Danny's calling in on the questions. I apologize if we did not get to your question live, but we're answering live questions every Tuesday on Ask Sara. So I hope you have a great week. I've gotten emails from people lately that the weather has had an upturn for a lot of different states. So I hope that's the case for you as well. I hope you have a great week and happy sewing. Bye, everybody.
Bye.